I don't know. Doesn't look good at the moment.
The wheels are somewhere down here.
The pin brake?
Yeah, the safety pin broke.
Yeah.
I had to lift Bill to turn to get back down away from the building.
And they're going to fix the CF100, and they're going to fly that.
Something wrong.
We are losing power, aren't we?
Bill, there's no wind to worry about. That's the reason the engine quit.
It's like a cylinder head.
Holy cow. Jet craft are very difficult to do in radio control. We're effectively making the legend of the Arrow. That's a sensitive issue.
I know.
Don't mention the wings.
They didn't build the full-scale model with titanium beams in it like they did the real Arrow. Instead they used pipe steel and plywood. It's a hell of a lot heavier. So the wings sagged on the tips.
Over here you see the problem with the wing. Right? It's a little bit bent. So Joel cuts it out and basically can straighten it, reattach it digitally. And the idea is to add a bunch of arrows going off in the distance, make the whole building seem bigger, raise the roof, create a whole production line out of it.
Yeah, I guess it was February the 20th, something like that, that Black Friday in 1959. I can remember going through the bays again on some mission and hearing Crawford Gordon's voice, our president, coming over the loudspeakers telling us that it was over. We were all terminated or laid off. And that was something, at that moment, everybody was galvanized. And so 10,000 people were laid off in 20 minutes.
My God, who wants to hear this story? We've shot ourselves in the foot in so many ways.
Maybe the Arrow was an innocent victim of power politics that were going on at a level beyond our knowledge. We just thought we were building a beautiful plane.
Couldn't they save one for a museum or one for aerospace research? They were all destroyed, all models, blueprints. They were sawn up, cut up and given to a dealer for scrap, which to me is the real black part of the story.
I mean, whatever the politics of and the finances were, whether it was way too expensive and it was a good political move in terms of that, a good economic move, that aside, what would possess them to go in and destroy all that amazing work?
Well, I'll always remember, and it's nightmare stuff, the smell of acetylene torches in those bays as those aircraft, those beautiful dreams, were cut up into little pieces.
One interesting thing is Diefenbaker did, about 18 months after the cancellation, say, gee, maybe this was all a mistake. And that comment was very classified for 30 years.
Ultimately, yes, there are tragic tones to it, but we are dreamers, and we believe that the Arrow was a brilliant plane, and we also believe that someplace, somewhere, that dream is still alive.
These are athletes of the Special Olympics World Winter Games. They demonstrate a spirit that can be an inspiration to all of us. And when 2,000 of these athletes with mental disabilities compete in Toronto and Collingwood this February, the world will be watching. Royal Bank Financial Group, premier sponsor of the 1997 Special Olympics World Winter Games.
Greet today's special moments feeling your best with Polident for daytime. Its powerful double action leaves dentures fresh and clean in just 5 minutes. Polident for daytime.
CBC Television is on the World Wide Web. A new site, a new look, a wealth of information, a Canadian view of our world, a website to call your own.
So you have a model, then you have to shoot that model. I gave Jeff a call and said, okay, if you are in a helicopter, Jeff, you're piloting a helicopter, we have the space cam, do you foresee the possibility that we can shoot from the helicopter to a radio-controlled model flying at a safe distance behind us, below us, above us, around us? Jeff scratched his head a bit.
Looks like he's going real fast downwind. I don't know if we had that kind of speed in the helicopter. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, no, we should be able to hang in there with it. We'll just make the turns really wide.
Theoretically, it seems like it's possible. In this case, it's a little more tricky because there's no pilot in the little aircraft. And so the pilot for the RC hangar will be in the helicopter as well, running the remote, flying it by remote control. And so which I don't think has happened very often, if at all.
The first time we shot these in Gimli, we didn't get any Arrow material. Should we spend more money and go out and try it again? Is it worth it? There were some long meetings over that. It was decided that yes, we'd give it one more try. Doug spent months building these things. He was slaving over them, sanding them, and he never got to fly them. And we had these two other pilots, and they would just go out and effectively crash them and send them back to him, and he would repair them.
Well, we rotated the gear.
He took his original design, and he looked at it, and he just went into it and tore it apart and rebuilt the whole thing. Brand new plane. This was the first time Doug was going to fly the thing, really, himself. He got into the helicopter, and we took off, and Barry took the Arrow off the ground. They handed controls over. Jeff pulled the helicopter right in on top of it. Doug is just sitting up there looking down through the window in the floor at all of his work, just sort of flying there, beautifully stable in the air.
There's 8, and there's 16. And it's not really doing anything.
The frame's all right.
The rollout was the biggest day and most expensive day with hundreds of extras in this gorgeous aircraft, and if somehow it flopped, if somehow it poured rain, we just didn't have another day to do it. Their budget is extremely tight.
It was a big day in terms of the production itself, but I think it really felt like a bit of a time warp.
If anybody who's got an instrument, get in and get a spot over here in the band area that would make sense to the arrangement.
I was so busy worrying about our 340 extras. I think we had about 30 of our principals on set.
Big movie making day.
Yeah, what you want to see is when the band's playing, and then there'll be the big wide master, and then after that it'll be like watching hair grow or paint dry or the trucks unloading and being it off.
Our dailies, the sun, the weather. I didn't even think about the emotional moment. And as it happened, the sun broke through the clouds, the actors were in place, the camera was ready, the sound was ready, the playback music struck up, the curtains parted.
The big moment's coming, I guess.
I gather you haven't seen this yet?
Not for 40 years. That's since 58.
Action! I now have the pleasure of unveiling the Avro era.
This is too much, you know. I went on and imagined Jan Zurakowski getting into it and flying it. That's amazing, Claude. I'm back there.
Quality Music presents Richard Clayderman, the world's most romantic pianist, brings you a world of romance. From the hits of the Broadway stage to Hollywood for the best-loved movie themes. Richard Clayderman brings you his own special performances of the world's most popular love songs. These treasured songs and many others are assembled on this special collection. Memorable love songs, the best of Broadway, Hollywood's greatest hits. 3 new collections of beautiful music on 3 CDs or 3 cassettes. And now you can celebrate this holiday season with Richard Clayderman's newest release, Clayderman's Christmas. Individually priced in stores now.
The Legend of the Arrow is brought to you in part by Chevrolet, tried, tested, and true. And by Royal Bank Financial Group, taking care of financial needs one customer at a time.
There's one left somewhere.
Hard to imagine where they hid it, though.
Squirreled away in a huge barn in Barry's Bay.
I know there are people that claim that they can still hear the arrow flying in the skies, across the skies of Canada.
But this was the Iroquois engine. I knew the Iroquois engine. I heard the Iroquois engine that morning, and I thought, well, one got away.
despite the fact that our members have always enjoyed the most senior level positions. But several are considered the highest authorities, and some financial gurus. That more than a few are absolute saints who do their jobs to perfection. It's also true that we're just plain, everyday folk. Just 8 of 25,000 certified general accountants. We're the name brand for business in Canada.
Spectacular, sensational, and going on right now at Cobo Center. The press reports are in. The 1997 North American International Auto Show is a huge success. Over 700 of the world's most